Essence is one of the most beloved cheap drugstore products. But even though they're cheap, the products are actually really good, even though sometimes they can be a hit or miss. That's why today I've actually gone to the drugstore and I bought a bunch of new and some not that new products from Essence. And I will also show you some of my favorites because I think they deserve a mention. So let's go and try nearly a full face of Essence makeup. Hi, my name is Kat and welcome to my channel where today we are going to test all of the new Essence stuff. I know that they came out with a concealer and also a bronzer, but I wasn't able to get my hands on them because they were sold out. I actually went to the drugstore 3 times to get at least what I have, because people are going crazy about the new Essence launch, so I hope that it is really that good. My face is all nice and moisturized, as you can see. It is nice and glowy. If you want to know what I use, then it's the Ionic Beta Glucan cream. That is perfect, mostly for the colder months, as October right now is. So yeah, let's go and test out the nearly full face of Essence makeup. And we are going to start off with this. This is the Jelly Grip Primer, and does it remind you of something? Because when I went to the drugstore and I saw this, I was like, like Essence, really? At least you could have changed the color, but it is just so similar. So yeah, I have the Milk Makeup Hydra Grip Primer, which is my favorite primer of all time. Let's go and test out this one. From the Hydra Grip Primer, I usually use 2-3 pumps. Okay. As you can see, it is, again, a green jelly. I had one primer from Essence before, but that was the blurring primer, and it did nothing to me. It was a primer without any silicones, and my pores were not blurred at all. This one has a slightly floral scent. It is not strong, but it is scented. On the face it feels a little bit cooling. It goes on the face really nicely. It is not like very thick, so that's a good thing. And it feels like it's going to be a really good product for people with oily skin or combination skin, just as myself. Let's test out the grip. It is grippy, but as you can see, it's not as grippy as the Milk Hydra Grip Primer. By the way, I used some of my favorite products from Essence. I'm sure you know the Rosy Peptide Lip Balm that are overpriced. These. Get yourself these two. They are like $3.45, I think, in the drugstore. I have the clear version and I also got the tinted version in toffetastic. They are just so good. I'm nearly out of this one, so I'm going to repurchase and maybe get a new color as well. So as you can see, the primer is a little bit grippy, but not too much. When it comes to my face, I don't have any Essence foundation or the Essence concealer. As I said, it's all sold out, or at least my shade was sold out, so I'm just going to apply what I would usually apply. Okay, so the concealer is on, and I have also done my brows because I don't have any Essence brow pencil. But right now I would like to try this water tint. This is actually a stain, a lip and cheek stain. So this is going to be all about, but when you open it, it is covered with this one. I have it. What? Did I break it? Okay, let's pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, this is in the color 010 Raspberry. No, it's only 10 Raspberry Vibes. As you can see, my skin is going crazy. But this is how the tint looks like. It is quite dark, but yeah, let's first try my hand. It is very, very pink. And yeah, it is staining a little. Okay, so it is taking my concealer off a little. I'm also going to try and use just my fingers. I don't like it. It doesn't blend. Help! It's really hard to blend it. Like, yeah, the edges are really hard to blend. I'll most probably have to go over it with some tinted powder or just some powder foundation. On camera, it doesn't look that bad, but yeah, in reality, you can also see it on there. There's quite a lot of my concealer, not my foundation. I don't have foundation on. And let's be quicker, maybe that is going to help. Being quicker helps a little. Oh. I don't like having this much blush on. You can see it's really patchy. Okay, this is something that I would probably just use for my lips, but I'm not going to apply it to my lips because we have a different lip product to try out. But yeah. You can see it's really bad. You can definitely see the edges of the blush. And that's something that I don't like. Okay, so I have powdered my face except for my eyelids because I have an eyeshadow primer. I have the Jelly Grip eyeshadow primer. This is, I don't think, a dupe of anything, but it again looks like the Milk Makeup primer, but just for your eyes. It is again scented. People, why do you make scented eye products? Your eyes are the most sensitive thing on your face and you are... yeah, I will zoom you in. I have hooded lids and what happens on my lids is that everything is creasing. So I'm going to apply it all over my lid. It's quite watery, so I'm not sure how it's supposed to work on your eyelids. I can feel my right eye, it is starting to be a little bit sticky. Yeah. So maybe it is just supposed to be a sticky primer, but I'm not sure how it's going to work on my oily eyelids. But just for fun, I actually found this old Essence palette, the Nudes palette, and even though this is nearly 10 years old, it's just eyeshadow, so it's pressed powder. There is nothing wrong with this, or there's nothing that can go wrong with this because it's just powder. And I'm going to use a brush that maybe I destroyed. Oh shit. This is what happens when you have a double-sided brush and you stick it into a bin with your other brushes. But yeah, I'm just going to take like this shade and put it all over my lid. But I like this palette actually quite a lot because it's very nice and subtle. So you can do an everyday makeup look with it. Now I am using the white shade just under my brow bone. I'm going to use the darker one. And even though the camera picks it up, I just don't see any difference in real life. Also going to take it under my eye. And yeah, I think that's it for the eyeshadow look. I am not going to do any highlight shade because I have a highlighter that I am going actually to use in my inner corners just to brighten things up. So as I said, I have the Soft Touch highlighter in 10 Soft Glaze, and this should be a bouncy glow. I don't know what to imagine as bouncy glow, but it looks nice in the pan. Let's swatch it. Oh, okay. Can you see it actually? This should be something in between a cream and a powder, but when I try to squeeze it, it just doesn't squeeze. You can see that there is no indentation in this. So I'm just going to take my highlighter brush, which is this fan brush, and I'm just going to dip it in, and now onto my face. Okay. The blush is horrible, but yeah, the highlighter is nice and subtle. It is like not too glittery, but it is more glittery than I would like it to be. On the camera, it looks nice. When I look at it up close, it's a bit powdery and glittery. But yeah, it depends also on how the light is coming down onto my skin. But yeah, I'm also going to test it out on my lids. On the lids, it doesn't look that good. Also, I highlighted my nose. I'm not sure what they meant by the bouncy glow. It doesn't look bad on my lids, but yeah, it still looks like a very, very glittery powder. But the glitter is actually very nicely melted, so even on my finger, as you can see this. It's not that bad. I have better highlighters that are from the drugstore brands that perform better, but yeah, I wouldn't actually be mad about this because it's $3.45. Also, while we were back at the eyes, there is a new metallic liquid liner called Color It, and I got mine in 02 Dark Cherry, but they also have a one that is more like orangey or reddish color. I took this one and I have no idea how it is going to look on my face with all the things that I have. When you open it, it is this kind of applicator, and this is the applicator that I don't like because it is not too precise. It's really hard to apply stuff with this. So yeah, I'm going to do my best, but I don't think it's going to work well. It is just too thick of an applicator, and I already effed up. I don't like these kind of applicators for my eyeliner because I need them to be as precise as they can be. And this one, I mean, it works, but I rather have a felt tip liner or a brush liner, but brush as the, for example, Epic Ink liner from NYX. It also is getting onto my eyelashes, which I don't want. Yeah, I'm just not a fan. Also, it looks like it's drying weird. Again, it's getting onto my eyelashes. I don't want it on my eyelashes. Come on. It also smudged under my eye. Yeah, I'm not sure that I like it. I actually never was a fan of Essence eyeliners. They all smudged on me. Yeah, let me zoom you even more. I'm not sure if you can see it. Maybe if I scoot a bit closer. But in this area, it looks like the color is missing, even though I went over a few times. And also it's smudged right here. The first thing I did when I applied it. So I'm going to do the other eye and then I'll be back. So I've done what I could, but yeah, it's not even. Also because my eyes are not even. This one is more hooded than this one. And also the applicator is something that I don't like, and the formula itself, it seems like it is going to be taken off very quickly by my oily lids. So yeah, I am not a fan of this eyeliner. I will always stick to my Epic ink liner from NYX because that is just the best one. And while we're at the eyes, Essence also came out with a few new mascaras. I got 2 of them. One is the Lash Princess in burgundy, and actually the Lash Princess mascara, the false lash effect, so the black packaging with the green like lace or whatever that is supposed to mean, is one of my favorite mascaras, even though it is transferring to my upper lids around the 6th or 7th hour of wear. It just makes my eyelashes look so nice, so I continue to repurchase it, even though right now I don't have it. But I tend to purchase because it is only like $4.25 or something like that. So we have this burgundy one, and then also Essence has this Lash Without Limits but tubing mascara. And at least in Europe and drugstores, there are not a lot of tubing mascaras. So I got this one, and yeah, as I said, Essence does really great mascaras. And for example, I have here this Lash Without Limits, but the brown one. And this one is actually a pretty nice mascara, but it is not waterproof. Once I applied setting spray after I had this on, and it smudged all over my lids. So I don't recommend you setting your face with a mist while you have it on. But today, as I feel like the black mascara is going to look better with the eyes, I'm going to use this one. And if you would like to see me review this one in the future video, then let me know down in the comment section. Okay, so let's open it up. It should have the same wand as the brown mascara, but it looks a bit different. Let me show you what I mean. Can you see the difference? This one is a bit shorter and a bit more spikier than this one. They are both rubber mascara wands. I actually never had tubing mascara before, so I'm not sure how it's going to perform on my lashes. I know it can be tricky to apply tubing mascara. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So far, it looks like it's separating my lashes. It gives it a little bit of volume, but I don't see any length. So this is just one coat of mascara. As you can see, it is not bad at all. So my left eye always goes on worse. But yeah. After first layer, it doesn't look bad. I had worse mascaras than this. So let's try and dip it in again and apply it the second coat. Okay, so now it is starting to clump up my lashes, even though I'm wiggling the wand to separate them as much as I can. Yeah, it clumped up my lashes. The more clumping mascara is the Essence I Love Extreme. If you get that one and you apply like 3 coats, it looks so clumpy, but that one is actually good as well. My lashes are a little bit thicker than I usually like have them, but I don't mind it, to be honest. Let's try and apply it to my bottom lashes, and my bottom lashes are really long. And yeah, this mascara cannot do just a little bit of bottom lashes. The wand is made so it really just goes all into your bottom lashes. So as you can see, it just grabs the majority of my lashes. As my bottom lashes are very long, I just go to the root of the lashes, but it feels like with this mascara it is impossible. In the viewfinder it looks good. When I look in the mirror, yeah, the texture on my skin can be seen because, yeah, like here on my temple, my skin is going all crazy, but from like far away it looks good. When I look closely, the cheek tint is really, really patchy. But whatever, we'll still have like 3 more products to try out, so let's go on with that. I have this brow gel, and I think this is supposed to be a dupe for the Refi brow gel, and that is a brand that I cannot get here where I am. But yeah, it has a brush on the top, and then when you twist it, there is a gel. So yeah, I'm going to put this back on because it is going to be impossible to use it without it. I have done my eyebrows, or I mean I have filled them in. I am using the NYX Precision Brow Pencil. A good advice to you is always brush opposite the hair growth and then just smooth the hairs out. Then it is going to hold much more better. The brow gel actually looks kind of clumpy when it comes out of the tube. I'm going to wait a little bit for it to dry down, and then we'll see how it performs. I can feel it drying down because it actually is like pulling on the hairs a little bit. So when I said the gel looks a little bit clumpy, can you see it? It looks like a big blob of like dried out gel. But I've heard a lot of people talk about this very positively. So yeah, let's have a look. I mean, it is still not fully dry. I feel like it could be a good brow gel and hold my eyebrow hairs. I hope you cannot hear my bunny in the background just going ham with the rug she has. I'm not sure what got into her. Yeah, this one is actually a good brow gel. I usually use the NYX brow gel, and that one is perfect. But yeah, this is a clear one, so if I just want a clear one, not a colored one, I would probably use this one. The next thing that I have here is actually not very new, but I wanted to try it, and it is this Fix&Last 18-hour fixing spray. I don't have very high hopes for fixing sprays from the drugstore, at least the cruelty-free one, because Essence is actually vegan and cruelty-free. All of their formulations are, so that is something that I really like, as you know, on my channel. And even though a lot of people love I think it's L'Oreal, I do not support L'Oreal because they test on animals. I'm going to apply some eyeshadow to my hand. This one is something that you can smudge. So just to show you, I will go up here. You can see it is smudging off. And right now I'm going to spray it with this. What? Can you see what is done? I took it all off. Yeah, it just took it off. Let's try again. Now I have used the darker shade, so let's go here. You can see it is smudging, it is coming off. I hope that this time it's going to work. I'm also going to spray my face while it dries. It is scented and it smells like soap. I'm not sure that I like it. Also, I really like this mirror. I got this from YesStyle. If you want, you can use my link down in the description if you want to save some money. But yeah, it has brought back some life to my skin. And yeah, it is looking a bit less matte than it looked before. And right now, when I look at the highlighter, it seems to be a bit more blended into my skin. So yeah, it really just needs a little bit of setting spray. I think it looks good even from afar, but yeah, the blush is horrible. Okay, so it has dried down, and let's see. It did nothing. It is still smudging. Guys, if you have any recommendation for a good fixing spray from the drugstore that is cruelty-free, please let me know, because I was kind of on the verge if I want to spend more than 30 euros for the all-nighter. I'm not sure that I want to, but I think that I will have to, because I didn't have one good setting spray or fixing spray from the drugstore. Everything just smudged on me, nothing held like it should when you apply a fixing spray. So please, if you have any good recommendations for a good drugstore fixing spray, leave them down in the comment section. But yeah, at least one good thing about this fixing spray is that it doesn't contain any oil and any alcohol, because before that I had the NYX fixing spray and that was like full of alcohol. It dried the hell out of my skin, so I will not repurchase that one. This at least doesn't have any alcohol, but my face feels a little bit itchy after I use this. I'm so sad. Let's move on to the last thing that I have here to try out, and it is this Essence Hydra Kiss lip tint. They have these in 3 shades. I have the shade 02 Vintage Rose. I've seen a lot of people liking it, so I'm not going to apply any lip liner, and my lips are very uneven. I have tried the VT Real Lip Plumper. If you want to see it, it's up here. Shade looks like a nice rosy shade. A bit lighter than I imagined, honestly. The applicator is a little bit more fluffy than I like, and actually this is how much product it takes up when you dunk it in. It feels like it's changing color, or am I... what? So I have overlined my lips with this a little. And even though it looked a bit too light for me when I first applied it, I think it looks okay. And that's it for today's makeup look that we created mostly with the new Essence products. I would say that there are some great products and some not so great products. I think that I'm going to get rid of a few, because the cheek tint I am going to try to use for my lips, and also the fixing spray is not very fixing. So just to recap all the products that I have used today. The Jelly Grip Primer is nowhere as good as the Milk Hydra Grip Primer. We'll see how it will wear, but for now I'm going to stick with the Milk Hydra Grip Primer. Then we have the Jelly Grip Eyeshadow Primer, and usually eyeshadow primers don't do anything to my eyelids. I have to use like a thicker concealer for my eyelids not to crease that much. This colored metallic eyeliner is something that I don't like. You can smudge it off with your fingers, and it's also peeling. The Fix&Last fixing spray, it's not doing anything. It is making my skin feel a little bit itchy, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one. The tubing mascara seems to make my eyelashes really pop. It clumps them a little bit, but I don't mind having clumpy lashes, so this one is actually a good one. Then we have the lip tint, and I actually quite like the lip tint because it is really hydrating and it is staining my lips, so that is something that I'm going to use a lot. Then we have the lip and cheek tint, and I'm not going to use this for my cheeks because it is really patchy and very hard to blend. I'm going to try it only for my lips, and if it's bad for my lips, I'm going to pass it over to someone else. The brow gel seems to be performing very nicely, so I'm going to keep using it on days maybe where I'm not wearing a lot of makeup and I just want my brows to look nice and, you know, brushed through. And the Soft Touch highlighter is a nice highlighter for the price tag, but I'm actually going to stick with different ones and use this for my eyelids because it is giving me a nice little glow on my lids. And if it's sprayed down, you can see that it is nice and glowy. So yeah, I'm going to switch it up with some other highlighters that I have. So it's actually 12 hours after I applied this face and makeup from Essence, and as you can see, my face is very, very oily when I look in the light. Yeah, it's like really bad. But when you look at my skin, the blush is still there and it is still a little bit patchy. When you look at my eyes, you can see that they are creasing, and the jelly primer did not help at all. But what I'm surprised about is actually the eyeliner. I was actually thinking that it will like spill and it will look really bad and smudge off. But when you look at my eye, it actually isn't that bad, either of my eyes. Also, the lip tint, you can definitely see that I ate and that in here on the inner part of my lips it's rubbed off, but on the outside it is still there. And yeah, the highlighter is still very nice, and the brows are actually holding in place. They haven't moved at all. So yeah. Again, let me know down in the comment section if there are some products that you have personally tried or that you want to try, and let me know your thoughts on them. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of my future uploads, because I upload every week. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!